Good evening everyone and welcome for tonight's round at Silverstone, and this is going to be a quite lengthy one because it's going to be a 90-minute round, same as the last 8th round at Suzuka. It will be brought to you in 4 weeks. In any case, as always, 24 minutes of qualifying with the silver first and the pro drivers afterwards. At the moment, 27 drivers currently driving. Now 26, because I think the McLaren is not in the lobby anymore, which is unfortunate. So as I was saying, quite few white numbers at the moment on the racetrack. Reminder that there is a prize pool for the winners. For now the real competition is rather in the silver class than the situation in pro class, considering the number of cars at the moment. Maybe it will be better in the upcoming week. The first car that crosses the line is already losing some ground, as Firth is now in pole position 58.7 and Villanova goes quickest. Anybody else? And then Vianello puts the Ferrari ahead of everyone in the 969 sim racing team Ferrari 296. Zagatini goes for third and Jones goes for second. The 792 McLaren. For the moment we've got Ferrari, few McLarens and a Lamborghini in the top 5. And just as I said it, Leonardo Ciarla is now in third place, putting the Ferrari in the middle of the McLarens. Moment in third, but obviously everyone is possibly going to improve. I'm literally seeing everyone, every single car apart from Villanova, who just exited pits, is improving, which is a good thing. Firth is one who is improving the most, currently 6 tenths. quicker than his time, because it's not compared to Le Mans Ultimate, where it's compared to P1. Here it's compared to the personal delta, so here it's 4 times better than their fastest time. Although Furphy lost 2 times in the technical second sector, there is still a good chance to make some positions at the very least, because the Ferrari driver is en route to put the car in the top 5. Matter of fact, it's 3rd place for Furf with a gap of 0.333. As Megliatini is actually going for pole position at the moment, there could be a chance for the Italian driver to put the car up there. As a matter of fact, he doesn't do so. By a single tenth, he remains behind as Jones improves. 3rd place. Limbergs put the car in 3rd in the 205 Lamborghini. And Charla is now about to cross the line to put the car in pole position by 2 tenths and a half nearly on Vianello. Now there are 2 Ferraris ahead of everyone else in the silver class. Vianello still quite quick in his car, as there is a high probability to put the car where it counts. He already is in a good position, but there could be a chance to put it in an even better position. Vianello improves, but not enough. He remains in 2nd place, 95 milliseconds away from pole. So now Charla is predicted to remain in P1, so 4 cars ahead of everyone else, and those 4 cars are Ferraris, all of them. While Robinson is currently improving quite a lot, more than half a second for the Aston Martin driver, number 336. As Villanova is now in 4th place, the McLaren 24. Or will you say with the car in 13th for the moment, because there is a good chance we could see the car number 336 in, at the very least, top 5. No, it doesn't. So it's 8th place for Robinson, but just 3 times away from pole. As Megliatini in the 17 is still trying to improve enough to get himself in 2nd or 3rd. Looking at the delta, maybe pole position is a bit optimistic for 17. Also, happy birthday in advance to Justin De Jong, because apparently tomorrow is his birthday. So I'm not sure if he will catch the round tomorrow, but in advance, happy birthday, mate. and enjoy the birthday party. As Martini goes in third. Which now becomes fourth after Jones puts the car 792 in second place. He is now just behind an Aston Martin, but I guess that could really ruin the Italian's hope for pole, as he was improving enough to at least get the car in pole, but the Hassan ahead is not really giving up the place. That Aston Martin is... I can't see who that Aston Martin is. I think it's Bessening in a 460 in 14th place. So Martini, unfortunately, will not be able to improve. But Vianello could still put the car in pole with a bit of luck he can get to P1. He unfortunately is tying his own time. There is a chance that P1 is still available, only one hairpin to go. And he just needs to put this together in a correct manner to at least gain a position, which is possibly going to happen here. Matter of fact, it does improve, but just for second place. And Vianello is there in second. Villanova is absolutely demolishing the current lap. I'm not sure because he's currently improving by nearly 0.5 of a second. So either he took an immense slipstream, or the race control is a bit glitched. Because I think it's way too much time. But we'll see. Although I think the slipstream could be the reasonable answer, because he goes on the finish line to put the car in pole. 57.5. So he actually does improve by a lot. And number 24 goes from 50 to first place, clearing Charla by nearly 0.2 of a second. And I'm not sure it's going to be Charla in second. I think it's going to be Robinson who puts the car in second place, 57.6. And that's now Robinson in second place, so quite the difference. In the last few runs, with two cars going from outside the top 5 to 1 and 2 in qualifying. So good on them, as the Pro Class is now going for their qualifying session. So we'll go with Timon Stema, current leader in the championship. as the Ferrari driver goes instantly in pole position. 56.9 for Stemma. The German driver clearly puts together everyone to see who is the quickest car. While Hill, a bit of a bad lap, he is only in 7th place at the moment, but still improving. In a 555. Zek goes for 3rd place, 6 times away from Stemma. I guess Hill made a mistake somewhere because his pace is a bit off. It's a bit more than a bit off pace. Usually he's closer to the top of the field, but I suppose he made a mistake somewhere. Because looking at the sectors, it's actually terrible second sector. So maybe there has been an issue there, but unfortunately he's either making the mistake again, or he simply can't nail it down. Because he's still... oh yeah, that was another mistake. Going completely wide and missing the apex. As Daniele Vita here for Flat Out Esport in the number 22. Even for him, quite a slow second sector. Slow is not enough, it was tremendous. It was 7 times slower than Stemmer's second sector. While the other two weren't off the pace. As Vita now goes from 12th in the standings to 2nd, 3.5 times away from Stemma, and putting his car in front of every single car in the silver field, which Ek still is part of, but now he's not anymore. 2nd place for Ek, as he goes for another lap. It's going to be interesting to see if he does the same mistake as earlier in the 3rd sector, in the 2nd sector, rather. Also, I think the 555 is lagging a lot because it's not the first time I've seen this car teleporting around. So yeah, it's actually not tremendous mistakes, so probably it's just that Hill is completely off the pace in the 2nd sector. For some reasons, just can't nail it down. So he will improve this time around, but quite below expectation, I would say. As he goes on to put the car from 9th to 3rd, so not a bad one, but still nearly half a second off from Stemma, who at this point doesn't have many opponents, considering the profile is 2/3 of what was last time. But there's still a chance for Hill to put the car at least in 2nd. I heavily doubt P1 is reachable for anyone else but Stemma. But I think he'll hurt me because he is going quite quick. Not enough for pole, but certainly enough to get the car in second by a good margin too. So he's currently in a 57.3. I think there's a slim chance to put the car in the 56s, but not this time around. I think he just messed up the final hairpin as he goes across the line in second place. And Stemma continues to go straight. So a lot of fuel in the Ferrari, considering he still hasn't stopped. Scully is going to improve, going from 11th in the field up to 6th. The German driver is still improving, so he's not good enough to get a 56.8. I think he wants to at least have a 56.5. Just a 0.8. Just. It's a 6.8, it's not really that slow. Oh, I think it was ironic, I think, yeah. I guess his 56.8 is quite astronomical. I think he can make it into a 56.5 if he really nails every single sector, which I think he is not doing. I think he just nailed the first sector. The second sector is a bit there, but he can still improve, which is crazy. This goes in the final hairpin into there. Oh, that was an immense slide. I think he lost all the gap he had. He completely lost the rear of the car. So have a look at it. Look at the rear. As he goes to the right and completely loses the rear, putting the car on the marbles. Effectively not being able to improve. I think which Ek is doing. Let's go into the car. Number 51 is in third, but soon to become, at least I think, maybe not. Oh, it just goes wide, but he remains on the racing circuit. He cuts as much as possible the last meters, but he remains in third place, 3.5 times away from Stemma, leaving Hill in second place, so just 22 remains on track, but I think that's going to be the grid for this evening. I'm glad to complete the lap in fourth place. So the grid will have only 4 Pro Class drivers in top 4, then we start with the silver in... Can do... Let me do this. Okay. And OBS. So Stemma starts from P1 in the grid, and car number 145 with Hill following in second place in the 555, then 51 with Benjamin Eck. Then Daniele Vita is in fourth. Unfortunately, we lost the car in sixth place, which was Gallo, and now he's back. So it was momentary temporal disconnection, but I don't know if the game recognizes him as... Oh, okay, no, he's gone again. Yeah, I think it's not going to... No, okay, he's back. I'm trying to understand if he remains on the field or not. In any case, Villanova is 5th. For how much time remains, Gallo is in 6th, Robinson is in 7th, Jongen is in 8th place, then Charlan 9th, and Vianello in 10th. Jones is in 11th place with Mediatini starting from 12th, with Irena in 13th and Firth in 14th. Then Gibbons starts in 15th place with Lindbergh in 16th and Barth in 17th place. Then Garbi only 18th, Vellman in 19th with Galamini in 20th place. Very nice livery, this one here. Longden is in 21st, Rice is in 22nd, last in Pro Class. Bestlink is in 23rd with Brown in 24th. Then the Shong. And then the last two cars with Gemello and Stewart completing the field, composed by 27, maybe 26 drivers. Because I honestly, those disconnections, maybe they were only temporal disconnection, but that wasn't a good sight. In 5 seconds we'll start the formation lap, and so our lap with Sema to understand the track even better. So turn 1 usually taken in 3rd or 4th gear, and you try to aim for the very edges of the curve on the outside. That is also one of the track limits hotspots, so it's not unusual to get a drive through only because of that. And then the famous Maggots and Beckett, left and right, then left, and then right, then left again, in which there are now the F1 resorts, which are way too costly. They are basically a series of B&Bs in the nearest position possible on the track. They are literally facing the track, and you actually have beds facing the main back straight, which is this one here. Well, this is the back straight for F1, but this is okay, works again. Okay. Okay, never mind, it's way too late now. I think it just didn't pick up anything of what I said until now for some reasons, but anyway, into the Hamilton straight, as we just crossed the chicane, into the Hamilton straight here, and then all the track layout up until the early 2010s went on the left. You actually go on the right. The old part of the circuit is now being demolished to create space for the new karting track, which will use part of the old circuit, but not all of it, and part of it will also be demolished for the creation of the kart layout that will also be used in international racing. So quite a big incentive for Silverstone management, who in some ways has to make money out of this old airport, because this was effectively an airport in the Second World War, kind of like Sebring. Then the last two hairpins. First and left hander, which usually is taken in second gear. Rapid change in third, and then second again to go into the final right hander, which is another hairpin here. So now we are about to start round number 4 of the Masters of ACC for an hour and a half. As we will shortly go green on the British surface. And it's a green light, and away we go with a quite a good start by Ek. Already put the car in front of Vita. As side by side there, he actually takes the lead in front of Stemma from the outside of turn 1, and I'm seeing everyone going quite clean on there. I think there is some contact there between Tirena and Furf, quite surely. And then there is a car that has issues. Gibbons lost the car and he is now in last place. But Furf follows closely Tirena for 13th place. And the 186 tries to go on the outside. Quite an optimistic move there, as I'm also seeing Jongen going for a move there, 3 wide. Possibly just... Oh, there is a major incident there! 2 cars collided, and that's... also, that's Jones out of the racetrack. Garby also is being taken out of it. So... quite the incident there, and Velman is now ahead, nearly losing the rear in front of Bestlink and Barf. Bestlink, who is now trying to take the position from the outside of Velman. As he goes on the left hand side, oh, over the grass, the rate is completely out of the racing line. I think there is a chance for the move behind, who actually took the position out of Barf's Porsche. Now again trying to go 3 wide into the left-hander, which doesn't really end well. Vita now lost the place on Villanova. Not definitively, as Vita remains ahead of the Italian in the 24 McLaren. So 4th place there, and Stemma still closely following Hill for first. A reminder that Hill was starting in 2nd place. Now Stemma lost the place in turn 1 here in Cops. Villanova now lost the place on Jongen in turn 1. Emirel is just following Charla, whilst Limbers is directly behind Rice's Aston Martin, although very much in a defensive position. As just ahead, Stemma goes for the inside line on Hill, which leaves the window open. He tries to go for the outside, but Stemma pushes the McLaren out as much as possible. The McLaren remains ahead for a brief moment. So there is some little contact there, and actually now Ek takes 2nd place out of field. So trying to get optimistic in there. Stemma puts back the car on the racing line, not leaving Ek any chance, and that's the Honda in 2nd place. Although I don't think it's over yet. They are still... Oh, little mistake there for Ek, nearly making contact with the car ahead. This one has an immense top speed, but it's not enough against the Ferrari, which has the best brakes in the field now. As Charla lost the place on Vianello, and Furf, quite likely for a brief moment he did, but now he is again in front of the car number 186 in 11th place. Now Charlie is in top 10. He's still in top 10. Oh, there is a car off. It's the car number 738. Lamini also passed the best link for position for roughly 2 seconds. He is now back behind the Aston Martin, now back in front of the Aston Martin. Nearly some contact between the two. Charlie now is in 16th. Meanwhile, Charla is also losing the place on 4th. So that's top 10 for 4th now. Just ahead, Gallo takes the place of the McLaren number 22, which lost another place. The number 22 from Flathouse Esports is now in 7th after starting from 4th place and now 8th place. So clearly there is some issues with this McLaren. It's going extremely slow. Look at this. There is nowhere. It's literally without pace. So look at this. It's a very odd situation. As long as he's rather was out of track, now he's back, but he's now in 19th instead of 16th. As Vittel lost another place, so clearly some throttle issues for the number 22, which is falling since I think lap number 3 or 4. Oh, it's a bit impossible considering this is lap number 3. So it's actually from the second lap that I saw this car falling away. As you can see, 203.4 without any particular issue. So for some reason, this McLaren is no. Oh wait, there is an incident there. Mayatin is off. He was battling with the McLaren of, I think, Gemello. Oh, there was a huge contact between the two. 17 is now off the racing track and then into the wall. Then last place for them. I would like to see again the incident which put effectively out of contention a couple of cars. Look at this from another perspective. So this was the incident. Furf made contact with the Ferrari and Mayatin, and then Jones was also involved. But unfortunately. So look at that, Jones spinning in the middle of the racetrack and then leaving some cars scrambling to find a way to pass through, and now Tirenna is in 22nd and Jones is in 23rd place, as Brown is now in last place. He spun on his own, completely losing the rear. Yes, it did. Out of the racing line, but now 7 seconds behind the next car. The Robinson and Vianello are fighting for 7th place. So looking at the lap times, Vita is back on normal rhythm, so whichever issue he had, he doesn't have it anymore, but he is unfortunately in 10th place after losing practically 5 to 7 seconds. As he was in 5th place, he is now 13 seconds behind the leader. He was roughly 5 when the issues started to appear. So Vianello is just following Aston Martin ahead, 6 meters away. And Rice is going for a position on Charla, that is for 11th place, but behind there is also Garvey trying to go from the outside on the Ferrari driver with a yellow LED. They're now side by side, Garvey and Charla, but Charla gives the position to the McLaren, leaving the Lamborghini of Limbergs. On the inside he goes, and that's the position done for the Aston Martin driver, for the Lamborghini driver in the car number 205, just behind Garvey. That was for 13th place. Now Limbergs is possibly aiming to 12th. That car in Zolder was an absolute weapon. Here in Silverstone, it's not that rapid compared to what he was in Zolder. He's currently in 5th place in class and about 9 seconds, 8 seconds rather, behind the leader in class, and 18 seconds behind the leader overall, which is Timon Stemma for Prata Brothers in a car 145, already taking a huge chunks away from Eck and clearly fading away into the distance. Ascanello is very close again to the Aston Martin driver. That would be for 7th. That was a bit of a mistake between the two. There is now a 6 times gap. Scalamini goes for position number 15 on Vernon off camera. So as it stands, these two have been following each other for practically the entire duration of this first few minutes. Last lap it was a 58.8 for Vianello, 58.9 for Robinson. Aston Martin is clearly quick enough to at least remain ahead. Meanwhile Galamini here nearly losing the position. I have no idea what happened, but Charla is not where he was. So I would like to see again what happened. So I'm starting to suspect that it's actually my connection that is actually falling apart. Yeah, okay, I will never know. It's a very odd issue. Ooh, that was Garby going extremely sideways and as such losing a good chunk of time on Limbergs. Ooh, nearly making contact with Aston Martin ahead, the McLaren number 2 to 1. As Limbergs closely follows Garby and Rice, that will be for 11th place. As it was also the quickest of the three. 8.7, 8.9 for Garby, 9.2 for Rice. So as it stands, this car here, the Huracan GT3 Evo 2. Oh, Evo. That's only Evo. Oh, McLaren goes for the inside, and that's the position done on the 75. And also Limbergs is trying to go from the outside, which doesn't end well, as Lamborghini remains behind Rice. Very nice move from Garby, who took the place away in... Oh, there's someone completely losing the car. And practically going straight. Limbergs is now in 12th place. So a bit of an easy pass for the Latvian driver. As Villanova is very close to the BMW ahead, but nothing really happens here. Meanwhile, Vita is in the inside and takes a position away from Furf, and Vianello is now directly behind, and now next to, and now behind again Robinson, as Vita started to find pace again, as 29 is in the pits. Oh, that's an immense amount of damage. Something terrible happened to this car. So this is what happened. So he went on the grass, lost the car completely, and put it into the wall, full speed, and demolished the front end of the car. Meanwhile, Villanova is still trying to go for 4th place. Sama is now 6.4 seconds ahead of the competition, setting a 57.4 as his best personal lap, but 57.6 was his last lap. The next car, in terms of performance, is Hill with a 58.8, a 1 second gap in terms of raw pace, and they are on the same laps, 20 minutes from the start. No. Okay. Oh. This time it was Villanova. At the very least, but again, another mistake. So I'm starting to think it's actually the server, because every time someone lags, makes a mistake, or some mistakes. It doesn't be the first time, so I'm starting to wonder if it's me or it's the server, or it's me and the server. Like I'm creating the lag. Because the first time it was like, okay, that was unlucky that I had a lag spike when someone made a mistake, but now it's the second time it happened. So I wonder if it's me looking at the cards that create the lag for said drivers, which will be quite absurd. I wonder if that's the reason, even because I'm not seeing any dropped frame in OBS, so I don't have a connection issue. It's more like I don't have a stable connection with the server in ACC, which is very specific. And a little remember that last time we had 3 disconnections at the same moment because of a server issue. So I'm not someone that gives fault to something else, but in this case I'm saying that maybe it's not my fault for once. Bit of lift and cost there for Vianello. Number 969 is now in a fight for 5th place all of a sudden. As Rice lost the position and gained it back on Limbergs, and he is on the inside of Club. But Limbergs has the in the line, and not only that, but actually Galamini uses this situation in his favor and takes the position on Rice, who is now back in front of the Ferrari driver. And meanwhile here Robinson lost 2 places on both Vianello and Vita. So we'll see back the overtake from this view. So as you can see here, Vianello took the position in easy fashion. After a lot of trouble getting through. And then it was the client driver that used the situation in his favor to take 8th place. As Rice is still battling with Gallamini. So he's now in 13th again. So Young has quite a good train that follows him. Villanova and Gala also battling for position number 5. As it stands, Villanova clearly has a better pace compared to Jongen, 59.4 in the last lap compared to a 0.2, and also the cars that follow have a better pace than Jongen's one, so the BMW driver either has to improve the pace or he will lose a lot of places. 8.9 the last lap for Villanova, 9.0 for Gallo, 8.7 for Vianello, 8.8 for Vita, 9.3 for Robinson, and only a 9.5 for Jürgen, ahead of everyone. So he is losing from every single car in this train. And now you can see Villanova clearly being extremely close to the go ahead. He thinks about an outside move, which can't really work out. We go for the chicane. Oh, he tries to go from the outside. For now, he remains behind, thinking about a solution. With 65 minutes to go, these cars can go as long as they want. Ultimately, the important thing, Tiran is off. He's off the race track. Oh, it was a contact with Jones. Oh, and then it was another contact from behind. It was Gibbons who made contact with the Ferrari head, effectively pushing it out of the way. Ooh, that's a bit of a mistake there for Villanova, going extremely wide and leaving a situation favorable for Gallo on the outside, who actually ends up nearly losing the position on the Ferrari who follows. And now they are too wide onto the last corner, and Gallo takes the position number 5. And that's now Villanova battling for the lead with Ganello in silver class. Although I'm quite certain that Gallo will fall behind Villanova again, so Jürgen at this point is simply having a good time, having his opponents battling for the positions behind him. The road is long, and the journey will end in an hour. Also, you can see Furf and Garbi are also gaining on this train here. Jürgen is effectively slowing all of them down to the point where even Furf and Garbi are able to catch up, and even Lindberg's behind. Jürgen's last lap, it was a 59.7. Everyone behind clearly was slowed down. Furf's lap was a 9.3. Garbi's lap was a 9.0. Lindberg's lap was a 9.0. And the rest of the lap was a 9.3. So effectively, Jürgen is ruining everyone else's race. But he's still ahead, which is the important thing, because okay. Ooh, there's possibly position lost for Vianello. Now side by side, as McLaren remains on the outside. It doesn't leave any chance to Vianello. Now you can also see Vita going for the inside line and takes the position in a very opportunistic way on Vianello. And that's 7th place for Vita after the mistake, the issue that happened at the very start, where he was 4th and then fell down the stairs. Oh, Beck is... okay, no, I thought it was worse. Basically fell off the stairs in terms of pace after a throttle issue, which solved itself. Now, looking from behind, Furf and Garbi are rapidly gaining. 9.9 for Jürgen. I will go to Gallamini before reaching someone slower, who is at the moment Charla in 15th place. Because even Gallamini is gaining rapidly, so this train is getting quite long. As you can see from distance, that's McLaren taking the position on the Ferrari. That's Garbi in 10th place now, 2 seconds away from the train for 4th place. Very lengthy train. which ends virtually on Galamini in 14th place. And I'm not really complaining. Jongen is helping my job quite a lot in this moment. Oh, Villanova goes for the move on Gallo, who made a mistake into this technical zone, but he remains behind. There is not enough space there for Villanova to make a move. Forget it. Mustang has different cameras for some reasons. And again, these cars can't really find a trail for themselves. So now we've got a train formed by 6 cars, which is rapidly becoming 7. And if Firth, Limbeck's, Rice and Galamini can work it out, it can become very, very, very interesting. As young at 9.6, it was a 9.9 for Gallo, but he was in a battle with Villanova. And to see, in comparison, Galamini was slower this time around than Jongen, but I have to get to 13th place because Rice was quicker than Jongen and he's in 13th place. So virtually this train is I would say 10, although Rice is quite far away, so possibly it's better to put the limit to 9, because Limbeck is only a second away from Firth, who is only half a second away from Garby, who is only 2 seconds away. You can see this train effectively now. It was quite evident. With Limbeck just being outside of view in the Lamborghini, not in the Ferrari. That Ferrari there is Tirrena in 26th place. Jongen now aiming to possibly remaining outside of the pit as long as physically possible. Oh, there's a little contact there with Gallo and Villanova, who made contact. Oh, that's off. That's Vianello off, and Vita also into the wall. So 2 cars who hit each other. Look at this, what happened. There was a contact between the McLaren and the Mustang. Then Vita tried to cover the inside, but Vianello was there, and then Vita unfortunately had to try something difficult, aka not hitting the wall, and now he's in 16th place. So disaster struck just as it was becoming interesting, and now Garby is in 8th place with Firth and Limbeck in 10th. Villanova is now going for the outside maneuver, a very nice one, as he completes the pass even before the chicane, and that's 5th place for Villanova. Now Jongen is very far ahead after catastrophe struck Vianello and Vita. 13th and 16th for these two. Now they have to make a lot of time back. Have some time, but it's very difficult that they get back to the battle for 5th place. I won't say it's off the table completely, but there's a high chance that will not happen. Car 157 is now stopped in the middle of the racetrack for no reason. Oh, the mechanic simply said that it was done for the day, and that's a DNF. So now 25 cars still on track. Simex is now just ahead of Furf. You can see the overtake which happened here in the stadium section. Now 205 is in 9th place. Robinson now is 7th. Gallo just ahead, which after losing a position on Villanova started to lose some pace from the cars ahead. Oh, it was an immense slider for the Mustang driver. You can see also ahead there is a possible fight for 4th now, with Younger again defending against Villanova. As he goes on the outside, tries something different from the usual, but there is a reason no one does it. Now we are going to the hunger straight. Still defends well against everyone else. So Garby is in the train, and Lindbergh is approaching by a reduction of a second per lap. Youngest lap was at 0.1. Nobody up until Bestlink did a 2-minute lap time. So everyone is closing in for 4th place. So there is realistically still a chance for Galamini and Vita to take it back in 4th. They are still gapping Jungen by a second per lap. And the gap is currently 14 seconds. Jungen to Vita. And about 10 on Galamini. So it's actually not that impossible to get them back for 4th. They just require Jungen to defend for 10 laps, 20 minutes, which is not impossible. Again, another mistake from Villanova. Every time he tries to be aggressive, he ends up losing more time than he gains, as Gallo thinks about the undercut and goes in as soon as possible. He gave up completely on the chance to do the overtake on track, so he goes in the pits. And Galamini does the same, trying to get out of sync to gain some places, and so at least get back to a chance for 4th place. Because yes, effectively, until Villanova doesn't pass Jongen, everyone up to 13th place now is battling for 4th. For how close the racing is at the moment. As Jongen remains ahead, but now the McLaren driver tries to go for the inside, taking the QRT car on surprise, but nothing happens, and Villanova remains in 5th place. As you can see, Gallo, Galamini, Vianello, Lonely Gemello, all in the pits to try something different. Undercutting Silverstone is one of the strongest thing ever, because Silverstone is one of those tracks that really kills your tires, and with an undercut you can get up to a 2nd per lap on the car that didn't pit, and if you add the fact that they are already slowed down on their optimal pace, well, you can rapidly guess that undercutting is a great idea. Matter of fact, Villanova goes into the pits and Garbi behind thinks about it and says, yeah, it's a good idea. No, never mind what I said. Never mind what I said. Villanova completely demolished by braking way too early. It was way too early, and Garbi also with damages. So disaster, complete mayhem, and strategy thrown away for both cars. Villanova who braked way too early. So 2 other cars effectively out of contention. Have a look again from here. Maybe it was a bit of a mix of both. Yeah, you can see here is the pit limiter. It was very, very early. I want to see again from... another point of view. So yeah, he braked out of nowhere in the middle of the turn. So I'll be honest, that was more on him. Completely butchering his pit entry. And unfortunately Garbi, who rightfully so braked way later, fully found himself a bit of a tricky situation. So now Vita is ahead. That's the issue that happens when you don't practice your pit stop. So the tactic of going for 4th and effectively for the win of the race completely into flames for the car now in 21st place, the number 24 behind Longden, with a pit stop, which was an entire 30 seconds longer than the usual, and Galby's one was 20 seconds lower. So now battling for the lead of the silver class. I think it's Robinson. But it's a bit of a question mark because I don't know where Janello will end up, either in front or behind. Janello is currently 9 seconds behind Gallo after the contact that happened earlier on, but the undercut is very strong. Matter of fact, it was trying to pick a car which already did the pit stop, which is Vianello, which just set a 58.8, and behind Galamini set a 59.7, so a bit of the pace. 58.8, and they are actually a second at least quicker than the cars ahead of Jongen and Robinson, as the leader also made it in the pits and is already out of the pits. See, change of tires quite obviously. You don't really want to go for an hour and a half with a single set of tires in Silverstone of all tracks. It's not really beneficial. Zach is now in the pits. So now Hill is your current leader of the race. Virtually leader, but that's soon bound to change. Robinson still follows Jongen in close proximity. Robinson currently just next to Jongen. Still nothing happens. Jongen has been defending since the very start of the race practically. But he remains out as long as he can, as Charla just went into the pits. So as it stands, Vianello is setting a 58.5 in this very lap. He's also behind Limbergs, so in any case he will end up, although he made a very early undercut, still behind the whole pack. It was formed by the cars that were behind Jongen. But I'm quite sure that Limbergs could be actually in the lead of the silver class, because he's now in 9th place, just behind Gallo, lapping with a 58.7 as Furf goes into the pits. But Robinson is still behind Jongen, unable to pass, and they are lapping it into the 2 minutes. So Limerick is effectively gaining a 2.4 per lap with his rhythm. Vinello behind is gaining, but not enough. 2 times only on Limbers, and Galamini is not really in the fight. So effectively this puts this guy here, the 205, in the possible winner of the silver class category. I'm quite sure 58.4, so actually going as quick as the cars ahead of the field. And Talia Swift comes out of the pits just behind Vianello, which I think at this point could be second in class. And Vito is just behind Rice. So only a few cars remain that still have to pit. Hill, Jongen and Robinson are the only cars in the top 10 that still have to pit. Hill possibly to try something different on his opponents. Jongen to try to keep as many cars behind as possible. Robinson for, I'm not really sure the reason there. So yeah, as it stands, I'm quite sure that Limburgs has the lead in a sense. Gap to Robinson is a minute, and in the pits you usually use up to a minute in the pit lane, plus a couple of seconds more in the pit entry phase and the pit exit phase. So by all means, Limburgs is effectively leading the silver class category without too many issues. As Robinson still battling with the car head. No move. And bound. Oh, there's some contact between the two cars. Young still remains where he is, although I'm not really sure which position that is. I think this could be the battle for 8th. Or even worse. I honestly have no idea why they haven't pitted. It's not like a safety car will come or anything, just like in real life where you could go longer and hope for the best. In this case, they are just losing time straight up. As they still remain out. So either the idea is to go with the same set of tires for the whole race, which is not a great idea, I'll be honest. It hardly works in 60 minutes races. It will not work for 65 minutes. Hill, I can expect, I can justify Hill's idea. He doesn't have anything to lose. In any case, he will remain third. It's not like undercutting will put the car in another place. So this went to just why not changing completely idea. Meanwhile, Mayhem is partnering here as Villanova is trying to take the place on Brown, and he does so in his comeback run. And Vita is doing the same on Rise, as this will be for 11th place. They are side by side into cops, turn 1, no contact between the two, but it was very close to happen. And McLaren is now ahead of Res, that's for 11th place. Momentarily, this could actually be for 9th, by all means. As Besseling is just now behind Longden, and Villanova is trying to take the position away from Charles. Oh, contact there between the McLaren and the Ferrari driver. Villanova clearly angry for what happened earlier with Garby, who is now in 14th place. Zimex is now directly battling with Gallo. 58.3, so the Lamborghini driver found the rhythm just now, and now this car is effectively the second quickest car. I can speak. Okay, I give up. The second quickest car in the field, as Gallo already put the blinking light to the right, effectively letting Lindberghs pass through easily. Understanding the difference in pace, it's completely out of this planet. An entire second between the two. 58.3 for Lindbergh's last lap, 59.1 for Gallo's last lap. So obviously it's quite different. X actually faster this time around, 58.2. Again, if it's not the second, it's the third fastest class in the field, which is still nothing to be shy about. Hill is currently lapping 59.6. He actually... no, okay, maybe not. 25 seconds is quite a lot to gain back, so Hill is really trying basically an all or nothing situation. In cold blood by Garby, Gibbons by the way. Okay. Apologies. I actually have a replay here. So yeah, I can see what you're saying. Oh yeah, I can see that. This was a bit too... I think I took the wrong replay. Apologies. I meant I took this one. So look at this, it was a mistake of mine because Garby is just behind Gibbons, and yes, there was a contact there, and then another contact you can see. So yeah, there was contact between Garby and Gibbons, so that's why Gibbons was outside of the racing line at the very beginning. So apologies on that. You were right. Murder in cold blood. I mean, there was a double contact effectively. Ooh, Charlie is off the racing line. And we can see the reason for it. Was it a contact between the two? Oh, yeah, it was a bit ambitious for both of them. Chala tried to cover the inside line in a bit of an unnatural way, and Villanova tried to go for an overtake, which was not really going to happen anyway. So, a bit of a racing incident by my side. Both parties a bit at fault there. Robinson still maintains the lead of this train, composed by 4 cars, but effectively with only 2 battling. And Barf lost the place on Garby, who's now in 13th place. Limerick, as I was saying, is 26 seconds behind Heck, so in any case he will remain ahead of Limberts. Not by much time. I'm feeling that now his strategy is pretty much going downhill. The idea has some clever thinking behind, but it falls short now. So much time passed. Robinson still maintains proximity. Sorry, thanks, bud. So Robinson still behind Jongen. At this point, their pace is bound to set the cars to 8th place. So, not really sure the planning there. I'm not really sure the plan there because they are just losing time at this point, and Robinson could easily go into the pits to make the overtake. He still decides to remain out, and again, not changing tires in Silverstone is not a good idea. It really isn't a good idea. You really risk to have a flat tire by the end of the 90 minutes. Smith just made the best lap with a 58.1. So even for the Italian here, pace which is quite close to the cars at the very top of the standings, considering X last lap was a 8.7, but I'll be honest, I really think that's a pace lap. Like, he's not really pushing at this point. It's really useless to push now in X situation. He's 20 seconds behind the leader. He's quite surely something around 10 to 15 seconds ahead of Hill. And in any case, Limerick is in 26 seconds behind, so at this point just cruising around is a good idea, so I'm not really taking Ek as a way of... Ooh, the wait, there is a possible chance here, as Jongen is losing the place on Robinson, and it doesn't anymore, he remains ahead. Robinson still struggles to make the pass. Keep the car ahead of the British driver. Still struggles behind Jongen, behind the Dutch driver, who's been out for more than an hour. But again, they are reaching a point where it's rather dangerous to remain with this set of tire, because these three are gambling with something difficult to happen. And I will imagine that if a flat spot, not enough, if a flat tire happens, that will be quite a difficult scenario for these three, because his strategy is just an all or nothing scenario. These two are simply wasting time. There's a 738 into the wall. It was in the rear and crashing into the wall violently. So quite a difficult race for Brown. 24 minutes to go, rather easier to say 12 laps to go, as Hill is now in the pits, and I'm very curious about Hill's situation. Robinson does the same, so Jongen is on a tactic of his own. The only car that still hasn't pitted, and a very big question mark on his head. The BMW is a very good car on tires. I'll be honest, I'll give you that. That car is a very nice one on tires. It doesn't have a great performance on the tires, but it really use them wisely. The problem here is that if the plan is to go for 90 minutes, the plan is going to backfire a lot. Meanwhile, Gallamini loses the place on Vita after going wide at Beckett, and that's... no wait, that was Club, sorry. And that's now 10th place for Vita. So yeah, it was only fuel, as expected, for Robinson and Hill. 13 seconds for Robinson and 19 seconds for Hill. So they are trying something different. I honestly have zero confidence in this plan. I'll be completely honest. I have little to no confidence in this plan to work out. Nürburgring is now 7 seconds behind Robinson, but approximately lapping a second and a half quicker than Robinson, which puts the entire plan of staying out to save time in the pits in flames, because it will not work since 11 laps remain and the gap is 7 seconds. So not much, not really much time there. Hill's plan at this point, well, it won't work directly, but I don't think it was ever going to work. In any situation, in any case, it wasn't going to work. So I'm quite impressed at what they risk. We will see if they get a flat tire. You know, Jongen is actually battling with Stemma, because effectively he doesn't have to give the way away. As if he was a blue flag car, he can even defend if he wants, and he's doing it. He wants to stay in the lead for the entire duration of the race, and I wonder if he is saving up enough fuel, enough tires to do the impossible. Just going in the pits as a drive-through. That will be phenomenal. That will be a bit of an idea. And that would also explain why he was so slow compared to the rest of the field, which at the beginning I didn't even consider. It was just a crazy idea, but now it actually could make sense, going a second slower than the competition. Okay, not a second, rather 7, 8 times in a controlled manner, and then effectively gaining 30 seconds in the pits. because the drive-through is enough to give you to reset the stint timer. I think you just need to... I don't know the server rules. I don't know if you need to stop, or if you can simply go on your way. So he's lapping 59.7, so it's not terrible considering that he has been on these tires for 70 minutes in Silverstone. And if his plan goes well, he still remains in 4th place overall. In any case, I still think it's way too many risks considering what's at stake, but I get it. Why not? Sam obviously doesn't have any real rush in passing Jongen. He has a 22.5 seconds gap, so it's really useless to push the boundaries. Meanwhile, Gares has to push the boundaries. He has Galamini ahead, and oh, he just went wide in cups. As the Aston Martin driver remains in 12th place at the moment. He tries to ask for a pass through, but that doesn't happen. Jongen finally goes into the pits. For the final time someone goes into the pits, at least on paper, and the PV will remain stationary for, I wonder how many seconds. Probably just fuel for Dash driver. "14 seconds. So maybe a bit too much, but Robinson is just behind. So he is effectively in 4th place, just ahead of his opponent on track, but his class opponent is 12 seconds behind. And Lindbergh's here in 6th place, hasn't been able to gain as much time as I thought. He is lapping a second quicker per lap, but I think he made a mistake somewhere along the way, because he still is 5 seconds away. Meanwhile, Rez very close to the Ferrari head, but in for 11th place. As he now goes on the left hand side and to the outside, and the Ferrari can't really do much. The outside, oh, there wasn't much contact there between the two. The outside, it's very strong there, and as we go into the chicane, Rice is now in 11th place, 5 seconds behind Ravita. So 5 seconds behind top 10 effectively. Robinson is still behind Jongen, who is trying to hit tires. So Robinson is currently leading his silver class. Stropisto now tries to go into the inside. This is just helping out Limbergs, who in this lap gained another 7 times, as they are now side by side into the chicane. The QRT car still keeping Limbergs is now 3 seconds only behind them, and he has new tires, so quite obviously this will be quite easy for the Lamborghini driver, who is lapping quickly and will have an easy time delivering an overtake, but he just has 30 minutes to do it. A bit less time than expected. So the gap is 2.5 seconds after Limbergs managed to gain 2 seconds out of the two battling for 4th. Now side by side again into the most technical zone of the circuit and then into the hangar straight. Again, Limbergs is just gaining time on these two, so as long as they are battling, Limbergs will be happy. Oh, there is a contact there between Robinson and Jongen with the BMW, which clearly doesn't want the British driver to pass through. There was a switch of positions here and there. But again, can't really do much as they lose another second. 0.2 for Robinson, 9.2 for Limbergs, which sets the time of strike in 2 minutes time. With a flat tire that is quite honestly a bit the shadow of the flat tire is lingering behind them. It's not really I honestly am scared for them because they are gambling with a lot of pressure at the moment. As the 777 is about to lose the position on Garby, who had a better run out of the S's. So he goes for the inside line and no contact between the two, but McLaren keeps the line and takes the position away. That's the 12th place for Garby. Meanwhile, Rogan is still ahead of everybody else, except the top 3, so he's still in 4th. So now the gap between Lindbergs and Jongen rather than Robinson and Jongen is only 7 tenths. So we could clearly see a battle in this very lap. After these two have been battling for the entire duration of the last 40 minutes, basically. As now Lindbergs is very much aiming at that P1 in class after what happened between Vianello and Vita, and also Villanova and Garbi. So with 8 minutes to go, 4 laps to go, maybe a chunk, no, okay, 5 laps to go rather. Stemmer will certainly make it. Ooh, that's a terrible mistake for Jongen. Finally Robinson could have a chance here. But actually, it's the opposite way around. Oh, there is contact and the mix is off. And again, another issue for Lindbergs. And that was the lead of the race. In silver class, let's now get in second place. With Robinson, which will keep the lead. So unfortunately, the battle lasted very little. An unfortunate contact. Robinson closed the door a bit too early, and Lindbergs who tried to go for the gap. And again, Lindbergs is now back in third in class, or 8th overall. And he is now in 23rd. Oh no. Oh no, I know what happened. The glitch sector. Yeah, we'll... Okay, honestly, I really think that it's important to keep in mind that Lindbergs is still in 8th place. Unfortunately, a glitch happened, because there is a glitch in the very inner part of the circuit where if you go out of track in a specific zone, which was Lindbergs one, you get your entire track nullified, your entire lap nullified. So for now he is in 23rd, but I will make sure that he is classified as 8th place. But as it stands, Robinson is still battling for 4th place. So it's actually quite likely now that Robinson will have inherited the win in his own class. And Vianello could be second unless Lindbergs gains enough time to get into third. Again, I'm not crazy. The position is simply wrong. As for still 4th. Robinson thinks about going for a dive. Just thinks about it. Actually, it doesn't happen. But look at this, Vianello lost a good chunk of time. I know that Lamborghini is again very close to Vianello. I don't know how much time is there. I think a second. And okay, let me count. Yeah, a second and a half. As Robinson is still behind. Never mind. For there was a difference from the usual. Maybe there is a difference now because Robinson already closed the gap. Can he go from the outside for the cutback with very worn tires? And again, Jongen, extremely defensive, still remains in 4th. Meanwhile, behind Vianello, look at this, the gap is simply 2.2. I think it's about a 2.2. So the battle for 4th overall is not over even because Gallo is now reaching these two. And Gallo is effectively battling for 4th in class. But now Robinson has a good chance to make it from the outside. With Jongen defending in extreme manner the inner line. Trying to go for a cutback, could it work? That's a tiny bit behind. When he's closing by. So we are about 2 laps away from the end of the race. As it stands, Robinson remains in 5th place, creating a buffer zone between Jongen and Gallo for 4th. While Vianello is oh, that was a mistake. Possibly a mistake happened on Lindbergh's side, so I think he will remain in 3rd. Astema is going to take the white flag. With 20 seconds to go to start the final lap of the Silverstone 90 minutes round. Robinson and Jongen are still battling for 4th place overall. Gallo is trying to think about something different. Oh, what happened there? Robinson completely lost the rear. Was it on its own or was it because... Oh no, okay, I think he just gave way to Gallo. So he can fight with Robinson, with Jongen, apologies. Because effectively Robinson is not fighting for the lead anymore after the contact with Limbergs. As the leader is in his final points of the racetrack. 2 turns to go. And with the best lap set with a 57.4. Timon Stemma, the car number 145 Ferrari 296 GT3 wins the Silverstone 90 minutes round with Benjamin Eck, which will follow in second place, 28 seconds behind. And I'm honestly surprised. Hill will complete in third with all 4 tires still attached. And even more surprised, Jongen finishes ahead of Gallo in 4th place. I would have put literally a negative amount of money into the fact that these tires would have survived, and yet they did. 4th place for Jongen, and Gallo now in 5th, with Robinson winning in silver class, with Vianello coming 2nd, Limbergs in 3rd place, and Firth who follows simply behind in 4th place in class. Meanwhile, Vita is in 10th, with Rice in 11th, with Garvey in 12th, with Galamin in 13th. Every position behind Limbergs is +1 compared to what is written. Barth is in 14th place, with Villanova only 15th, unfortunately, with Logren in 16th place, just behind, and 17th place for Charla there. As Besselink completes in 18th place. Limbergs will be obviously put from 23rd up to 8th place without too much trouble. Pastema is your winner for tonight, and Robinson is your silver winner for tonight. In any case, this was the Silverstone round number 4. Next week we're going to be in the Circuit of the Americas, and then Hungaroring, Barcelona and Suzuka with the finale. In any case, I'm Chris Romano. Thank you for having followed tonight's race, and I will see you all next week for ACC and tomorrow evening for Le Mans Ultimate. Good evening, good night, wherever you are.